Anti-slave trade SAG professional 20-year agency contract supermodels, talent, and producers earns the highest paid real estate. It's paid $80,000 per $1,200 or $800 professional top percentage job through an agency. This is paid according to federal law. So since 2005, 2007, slave trade were recruited, but it really happened since the year 2000, and they rejected slave trade campaigns. So it's better to book a Pantene commercial and be a supermodel promoted as the one who won for your country, promoted the most in the USA, and then win for the world and support all those ones who won for their country. Ford Supermodel the World of each country, 2004, who are anti-slave trade supermodels. It's better to have booked those commercials, those campaigns, that first 7-year period, than to have done the slave trade for that 7-year period and every year thereof. So this top percentage supermodels would get the $1 million a year for 20 years if they didn't party promote or prostitute, and they booked the national campaigns without being a prostitute. And then they rejected the slave trade the whole time. And it's $1 million a year for commercials if they booked the national commercials that first 7-year period, because it's booked off your resume, all 20s, to reject the slave trade commercials for the slave trade brands their age and underneath them with managers and employees. And so they said no to the slave trade, and they earned it by spending $40 a day to reject slave trade manager brands and slave trade artists who sold out, saying yes to the ones they rejected. And so they earned the $1 million a year for commercials, booking the highest paid commercials separate from slave trade. And those companies are the most successful companies when they promote them, separate from the slave trade. And then it's theatrical. And Brittany's the owner of the agency with referrals for the Ford models and then all agencies she's been signed with. And so she is hooking up the anti-slave trade models with an investor. They're going to pay them according to federal law. And it's the theatrical model talent who rejected the slave trade for Victoria's Secret, being a soap star for $1 million a year. Brittany did 4 years of acting classes, and she's the highest trained actress and said no to the slave trade for being an actress. And so she books the most amount of A-list spots on TV, supporting the celebrities who supported her, being the only one to book those jobs when it's a roster of slave trade for the companies. And so Brittany did it without it being corrupt. And she's the owner of the agency for the anti-slave trade model talent, who builds off their resume, but who earned the most film distribution, A-list film distribution for their own production company. They earned according to federal law. Their calling supports the government and the top percentage to be able to have money and have the best quality of life. They are proceeding to kill the slave trade 2000 till now, separating slave trade brands from the ones who are not. And you have to be on their side to kill murders and get them paid. But they'll kill anyone who threatens them because their checks were stolen and it was paid by a bribe to pay slave trade. So the top percentage are killing slave trade and paying them their checks through Brittany and the ones she worked with, who are the highest paid supermodel talent in the world. They produced by co-producing with their hard-earned checks, and photographers are the highest paid campaign, commercial, theatrical cinematographers who booked the most amount of A-list theatrical with just shooting TV spots on A-list film producing jobs. They earned the most amount of an A-list resume with celebrities, speaking lines to celebrities or shooting it. And so they have the highest paid job that they earned for their production company, 20 years as a referral for 10 and 5. It's international. They're not slave trade. Respect them. If you owe honor, it's honor. If you owe revenue, it's revenue. They co-produced, separate from being raped or killed for a job, to promote safety and security for all the innocent people of the world.